Good afternoon from Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa, the home of the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. Alongside Laura Leonard, I'm Larry Morgan, and in just a moment we'll have the matchup between the 4th seed, the Center Point-Urbana Stormin' Pointers, and the 5th seed, the Waverly-Shell Go Hawks. Right here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Well, Laura, we only have to go back to December 5th, which does seem like a long time ago. But this is a rematch of that game, which was decided by 2 points.
Yeah, and, it was a game that was highly contested, and Waverly-Shell lost that ball game, but had an opportunity at the end of the ball game with a three-pointer to win it. They went for it all. They went for the win. Came off the rim. They were not able to get that victory, but they know what they have in store for them and what's ahead of them because they can go back to that game film, look at it, see what they need to do differently to try to make the outcome a little bit different.
And that was one of only 2 losses for Waverly-Shell, as both teams have had outstanding years. Center Point-Urbana coming in with a 21-2 record, and Waverly-Shell at 20-4.
Yeah, and these two teams have done a good job of. They've been at state before. They know what to expect when they get here, and you can see the road to the state there for Center Point-Urbana and what they've done, talking about the record and what they had to do to get through to get back to state.
And, of course, they're the defending 3A champions, but they have moved up a division.
Yeah, and they said it wasn't that big of a difference for them to make that move to 4A. Obviously, they made it back to state, so they did make the adjustments of moving up in that class and then making their way down here to Wells Fargo.
And now let's take a look at Waverly-Shell the Go Hawks coming in, as we mentioned, 20-4, and they have a 20-game winning streak.
And they have been on a tear in that 20-game winning streak. They lost their first 2 games, reeled off 20 in a row, and are feeling pretty good and pretty confident about the way they're shooting the basketball. And you can see their shooting percentage number 1 in 4A, so they are putting it through the hoop at a pretty good clip.
Something that stands out to me about this game, when you look at the numbers, they basically mirror each other. The Go Hawks average 57 points a game, and the Stormin' Pointers average 59 points a game. They both shoot better than 45%, both average 5 threes a game, both turn it over very much. Neither team great free throw shooting team, so all down the line, statistically, they seem to match up very well.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really great matchup. I think it's going to be close, just like their first matchup early on in the season. Low scoring was that first one. I think it's probably going to be the same way because both these teams like to get after it defensively.
The one thing that jumps out to me about Center Point is you take a look at Riley Goebel and Adriana Catcher. They have each blocked over 45 shots, 1 to 47 and 1 to 49. That's a lot of blocks.
Yeah, they're difference makers in the middle, and so they will make you change the way you run your offense, and they're going to be in there, and it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments that are going to be made.
Adriana Ketcher headed for Southern Illinois University to continue her basketball and education career. And for late Waverly-Shell Abby Draper, a couple of years going to Bradley, so this won't be the last matchup between those two.
No, it's the fun thing about this is the fact that with all these teams that are coming in, all these players that are going on and that are going to continue their career at a high Division I level.
Well, the winner gets North Scott Lancers, and we'll be back to talk about that game and this game in just a moment as we return to the Well in Des Moines, Iowa, as we'll be right back with more basketball as you're watching the Iowa State Girls Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
They say Buena Vista University is in the middle of a bunch of fields.
Hey guys, wait up!
Game on.
They say our idea of fun is morning tea.
And afternoon tea.
And anytime tea.
And we hang out like bumps on a log.
They say Storm Lake, Iowa isn't in the center of the action.
And when we study, we're not exactly grounded. But you know what we say.
You gotta see it to believe it.
It's game day. Brisket smoking. The stakes are huge. Full rack, baby back. Fired up, quarter pound. Fast pass, dribble down. Slam dunk. Buzzers beat.
Victory goes to Fairway, the champion of meat.
Des Moines. The yeses are silent. Our city is buzzing. Catch what you've been missing today.
Welcome back to the 2020 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Time to take a deeper dive into what these two teams need to do to win today with our Kruger Seeds for Success.
Well, both of these teams are familiar with one another as far as the first matchup. But what Waverly-Shell Rock, well, let's go with the Storm and Pointers. What they need to do is not force shots. They need to take the best shot available. Don't force it against this defense. And they want to play at a high tempo. They want to push the ball, get up and down the floor. And then for Waverly-Shell Rock, they need to handle the pressure. They need to take care of the ball. They can't have turnovers. And then no second chance points. They've got to go to the glass. They've got to box out. They can't let Center Point-Urbana have a lot of second chance opportunities and extra possessions.
Today's Seeds for Success brought to you by Kruger Seeds. The next time you're in the need for corn or soybean seed, give your local Kruger Seeds dealer a call. Kruger Seeds, first class seed, first name service. Learn more at KrugerSeed.com. So we get set for this 4A quarterfinal matchup. The winner gets North Scott, the top seeded team in the tournament. We'll take our final break before tip-off. When we come back, you'll have your team introductions and starting lineups in this tournament matchup. You're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Crowded lecture halls? Not anymore. Southwestern Community College is a different place. It's where we break from traditional college to do what's best for your career. It's about teaching the way you learn, having fun along the way, and giving you the experience you need for what comes next. A job and an income in as little as 1 year. That's why you go to college in the first place. Southwestern Community College. Your career starts here. Check out SWIC's career-related programs at swiciowa.edu/yourcareer.
I'm an Iowa teacher. I fight every day
to make sure that the students have real-world life skills. My Iowa Bank helps any way I need them to. They have come to my class to be guest speakers. They have welcomed us into the bank. If you don't have a relationship with your bank, you need to make one. I love my Iowa Bank.
More Iowans choose to bank with an Iowa bank. Get to know a real Iowa banker and discover the genuine difference of Iowa banks.
Fans, the Iowa Bankers Association, proud to help students reach their goals both financially and educationally. That's why they're honored to provide 5 student athletes from this year's basketball tournament with $1,000 scholarships. Follow their Facebook page, facebook.com/Iowa Bankers, to see the winners. Now let's go to public address announcer Tim Fitzgerald.
Once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Thank you. Fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Waverly-Shell High School and Center Point-Urbana High School. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Faith Carpenter, a member of the IGHSAU Student Athlete Advisory Committee, will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school's scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Waverly-Shell High School, Haley Denner. And from Center Point-Urbana High School, Scott Milliken.
The definition of sportsmanship is the quality of showing fairness, respect, and generosity towards the opposing team and officials.
Things you say and do are a direct reflection of your school and community.
Please stay positive and enjoy the game.
Fans, it's now time to introduce the players in today's 4A quarterfinal matchup. First of all, the non-starters and assistant coaches for Waverly-Shell. Number 2, Trinity Moore. Number 10, Siri Ott. Number 14, Sasha Wilson. Number 24, Macy Smith. Number 30, Emma James. Number 34, Emma Seward. Number 40, Ellie Thompson. Number 42, Emma Hansel. Number 44, Morgan Scott. Your assistant coaches, Dave Arns, Nick Willenberg, and Chelsea Wedeking. And now, here are your non-starters and assistant coaches for the Center Point-Urbana Storm and Pointers. Number 2, Taylor Reeves. Number 3, Nicole Lutz. Number 5, Lane Hadsel. Number 11, Olivia Sweeney. Number 13, Ryan Henson. Number 22, Cora Catcher. Number 23, Emma DeSmet. Number 32, Claire Neighbor. Number 34, Eliza Molenauer. Your assistant coaches, Dan Hillers, Derek Shantz, and Andy Woldridge. And now, here's your starting lineups for this 4A quarterfinal. For Waverly-Shell, a senior, number 4, Cameron Grayway. For Center Point-Urbana, senior, number 4, Adriana Catcher. For the Go-Hawks, a senior, number 12, Brittany Young. For the Storm and Pointers, a senior, number 15, Bryn Hadsel. For Waverly-Shell, a junior, number 20, Kenzie Rolling. For Center Point-Urbana, a senior, number 20, Peyton Kriegel. For the Go-Hawks, a junior, number 22, Abby Draper. For the Storm Pointers, a sophomore, number 25, Riley Goebel. And for Waverly-Shell Rock, a sophomore, number 32, Annika Behrens. For Center Point-Urbana, senior number 30, Lauren Dupeau. Your head coaches, for the GoHawks, Greg Bodensteiner. For the Storm Pointers, Philip Klett. Now, ladies and gentlemen, turn your attention to the scores bench as I introduce our starters for this 4A quarterfinal. Our officials, Bill Gilman, Sean Peterson, Mark Royer, and your bench official, Ben Oberman.
Those are the starting lineups for this game between Center Point-Urbana and Waverly-Shell Rock. It's Ketcher, Hadsel, Krieger, Goebel, and Defoy for Center Point-Urbana, and for Waverly-Shell Rock, Grayway, Young, Rolling, Draper, and Behrens. Starting lineups brought to you by Buena Vista University, located in Storm Lake, Iowa. Buena Vista University prepares students for lifelong success through transformational, academic, professional, and co-curricular programs. Schedule your visit today at bvu.edu. And the opening tap controlled by Center Point-Urbana. And again, both teams average about 60 points a game. Both shoot well, over 45% in both cases. In fact, Center Point-Urbana at 46%, Waverly-Shell Rock at 49%.
Both teams coming out man-to-man. And that's what you're going to see primarily throughout this game. Both of these coaches are man-to-man defensive coaches. They're going to come out, they're going to pressure, and they're going to cause problems. They're going to make it difficult to make the entry pass.
Abby Draper brings it down for Waverly-Shell Rock. Off the baseline, the shot is off by Annika Behrens, but the follow shot is right there as Behrens follows her own shot to score.
Behrens doing a good job. All good shooters follow their shot. She did just that. Was able to get the bounce off the rim and the putback.
Catcher drives the lane too high off the glass, and there to pluck down the rebound is Abby Draper. Draper, as we mentioned, committed to Bradley, but just a junior, so one more year in the Waverly-Shell Rock system.
Then you could see that the length of Draper is going to cause problems on the inside and the interior.
Ball poked away on a good defensive effort, but retrieved by Waverly-Shell Rock. At that time, Bryn Haddisell did a nice job of breaking up the play. Draper to the basket, misses the shot, but draws a foul, and will go to the line for a pair.
Trying to split two defenders. And she comes up just, she went to the floor hard, so took the brunt of that collision.
And the game's first foul called against Lauren Defoe. Draper, a 75% free throw shooter, a 47% free throw shooter. So that's the one thing probably she has not done as well as she would have liked this year. She's an outstanding rebounder, averaging 7.5 per game. But she drains those.
And somebody that's in that position that's going to be playing inside, you're going to absorb some contact. You're going to get to the free throw line. And so that's something that she certainly will work on in the offseason.
Catcher drives the lane, puts it up with the left hand, and gets the first basket of the afternoon for the Storm Pointers.
Nice drive, great body control, find the angle, and that's what you have to do. You have to attack this defense on both sides.
Number 12 is Brittany Young, and she's the player that in many ways impacts both offense and defense for this team for Waverly-Shell Rock, and she's somebody you're going to want to keep your eye on as well.
And impacts it, according to Coach Bodensteiner, in ways that you don't recognize as a fan. She just does a lot of the things under the radar for this team.
Young on the miss there. Dufault with the rebound. Hadsell tries to slip it inside, but the pass is knocked down and taken away by Abby Draper.
Pass a little too tall on the cut. Is a great idea, the right idea on the cut, but the pass just a little too high to be able to pull in.
Nice slip to the basket that time by Cameron Grayway, and she gets fouled.
Boy, a great idea and great recognition of what the defense was doing. And Grayway saw it that there was overplaying, and she cuts back door.
Kriegel gets the foul. Grayway leaves the free throw short. First subs of the ball game for Center Point-Urbana, as number 32 Claire Neighbor checks onto the floor, as is number 2 Taylor Reeves. Substitutions in today's game brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com.
Well, that's a picture-perfect box out as the ball hits the floor. All coaches say, get out there, box out, make the ball hit the floor. And Center Point-Urbana did that.
Nice entry pass from Taylor Reeves, but the shot rims out. And it's a cold shooting start for Center Point-Urbana. Waverly-Shell Rock on the attack, and the ball tapped out of bounds by Adriana Catcher.
Catcher getting back in defensive transition. She missed the shot down on their offensive end, and she hustles to get back to get into the passing lane and knock it away.
Sasha Wilson and Morgan Schutt come into the lineup for Waverly-Shell Rock. And again, substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance, and a nice baseline basket by Sasha Williams off the bench and right into the scoring column. Waverly-Shell Rock scoring on good transition, and the basket by Riley Goebel.
That's how quick they can score. You have got to get ready after you score, get in defensive position. Otherwise, it's 2 passes down the floor and an easy bucket.
Wilson brings the ball up, pass down low, and it's a beautiful pass from Draper to Schutt.
And what a nice job of breaking pressure. So both of these teams now kind of shaking off the nerves and now getting after it offensively. They're playing at a high level and a high pace.
Midway through the first quarter in this 4A quarterfinal game. Trying to penetrate. Reeves can't do it, so she gets the ball to Kriegel. Kriegel has the ball slapped away, and quick hands gets a steal for Waverly-Shell Rock's Brittany Young. We talked about her defense.
Yeah, bring that down, bring that ball down and not pay attention to what you're doing looking for cutters. Got to protect the basketball against this pesky defense.
Draper being guarded by Catcher. Good matchup there of 2 college-bound players.
Kind of the same body type, those two. I mean, they're going to see a lot of each other as their careers move on, but same body types, same kind of player.
Goebel deflects the pass. Goebel tries to finish and cannot. And she's going to be called for a charge.
There again, it's Brittany Young, that player that impacts a game, not just in the scoring column, but defensively gets back, anticipates very well where Goebel is going, and takes the charge.
Young with the dribble, headed for Wartburg College to play basketball next season. Gohawks try to add to a 4-point lead. A takeaway by Taylor Reeves. And then she gets fouled as she starts to move up court.
And you could see where they were in the passing lanes. They were just inching. Reeves was just inching. And when you see that as the offensive player, you got to cut back door.
Reeves, a 5'4" freshman, number 2, bringing it ahead for Center Point-Urbana. The Gohawks with a switching man-to-man defense.
Looks like they are switching on the screens. That might allow...
Catcher slips the pass inside to Claire Neighbor.
That's exactly what the switching does. It creates mismatches, and it gets the defense out of position. Good backdoor cut.
For Waverly-Shell Rock, it's Cameron Grayway on the dribble, gives it up for Young. Wilson looking for someone to pass to. Draper outside fires. It's off the front of the iron. The follow shot won't go. Another follow effort, this time by Morgan Schutt, and a foul whistle.
And I don't know, is that foul going to be on Goebel?
We will check that out. The foul is on Goebel, and that's her second. So Riley Goebel, a key factor for Center Point-Urbana, has to check out with those 2 early fouls.
Going for the block, they gave him 3 chances. as Waverly-Shell Rock went to the offensive glass. And Goebel, who coming in, and you had talked about at the beginning of the ballgame, she is a shot blocker, 49 blocks on the season, just got too aggressive in that attempt to block the shot and picks up foul number 2.
That could be an early story in this one. Catcher, nothing going inside, so she finds Haddisel cutting across the lane. Now Lane Hadsel will drive, and a foul.
Ball is always in motion for Center Point-Urbana. They have a lot of players moving without the basketball. The ball's moving, trying to get the defense to adjust. That's going to create some alleyways for driving opportunities.
Sierra Davis back in for Waverly-Shell Rock. Substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance.
So far here in this first quarter, not a lot of turnovers, and you'd maybe expect some more, just the way that these defenses press from end line to end line.
And we have our first tie of the afternoon as Hadsel and Shutt fight for the loose basketball, and the possession arrow is going to give it to Waverly-Shell Rock. The Go Hawks from the Northeast Iowa Conference, they won the league with a 12-0 record, making their 5th state tournament appearance, their 2nd in a row. They lost to Mason City last year in the quarterfinals. Securing the inbounds feed, Siri Ott. Ott's going to play soccer at Iowa State. 2 years from now, she's only a junior. Drive to the basket, doing everything but completing it was Kenzie Rawling, but an offensive rebound by the Go Hawks, and they've done a good job getting that second chance opportunity.
They are really battling for loose balls, those 50-50 balls that coaches like to call them. They are winning those battles and giving themselves opportunity to score.
Young puts the ball to the floor against Hadsel. Rawling handles it outside. Nearing the minute mark in this first quarter.
You know, talking to both these coaches, both of them said, oh, we like man-to-man defense. We've got those guards out on the perimeter that can really cause problems. They'll get after you. They're quick. And that's where our defense starts, is out there. And then we have the bigs in the inside that can cover up and protect the paint.
Draper back in for Waverly-Shell Rock. Substitutions today brought to you by IMT Insurance as Draper comes off the bench and hits the shot.
You could see the length there, the advantage for Draper, and the length there on the defensive side of things for Draper.
She is 6'1", by far the tallest of the Go Hawk starters. Center Point-Urbana, their Twin Towers, a couple of 5'11" performers. But so far it's been the height of Abby Draper that's made the difference.
Well, it's a 6'1", but then she gets the arms up on defense, and that makes her about probably, 6'4", 6'5", yes, as those arms extend out. I can see her where they might want to put her out on the front line of this pressure defense to cause problems, or on an inbounds pass at a critical time with those long arms and that wingspan. She's going to cause some vision problems, not going to allow the passer to get a good look of where they want to take the basketball.
Young out, Grayway in for Waverly-Shell Rock. Substitutions today brought to you by IMT Insurance. To learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. Center Point-Urbana trailing throughout this first quarter, got down 4-0. Right now down by 5. Defoe trying to make something happen and can't. This is Lane Hadsel in the lane. It's DeSmet, time running down. We're down to 6 seconds in the quarter. The shot no good by Hadsel, and coming up with the rebound is Waverly-Shell Rock, and they're going to be content to go to the end of the first quarter with an 5-point lead of 11-6, their biggest so far this afternoon. We'll be right back with more basketball. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey, Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu.
The second quarter with Waverly-Shell Rock leading Central Point-Urbana 11-6. Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600, and that means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is more affordable than ever, and scholarships still available. Apply today at central.edu. Center Point-Urbana trailing throughout this first quarter of play, trying to get things going as we start second quarter action.
Well, Draper with those long arms got another block, and coming into this ball game, 50 blocks on the season, so she is going to make you think twice when you get into the lane.
Goebel with 2 fouls, sat out the last minute and a half or so of the first quarter, but she is back in.
Well, she's got to be smart. They need her in there. They need her offense, and so she needs to be smart about how she proceeds here in this quarter. Does not want to pick up a third going into halftime.
And Center Point-Urbana already with 5 team fouls early in the second quarter. The Go-Hawks on the attack. Rated 6th in the state in 4A, seeded number 5. And from the top, Young leaves it short, and the rebound is pulled down by Adriana Ketcher, who's headed for Southern Illinois next season.
You look at all these players that typically you'd look at, they're tall and you'd go, okay, they're a 4, they're a center, they're a 5, but they're handling the basketball and bringing it down the floor and setting up the offense.
Makes really tough matchups, doesn't it?
It really does.
Ball out of bounds, and it's going to stay in the Center Point-Urbana end. Bryn Hatzel back onto the floor for Center Point-Urbana. IMT Insurance bringing you our substitutions today. Defoe, quick move to the baseline, but she travels.
The defense closed in very quickly as the drive was being made on the baseline.
Brittany Young draws a little bit of backcourt pressure. Calling for the ball is Rolling. Rolling on the right side, picked up by Ketcher. Grayway pitches it off to Young, who misfires. A scrap for the rebound on a tie ball. As Draper and Defoe go to the floor, going for the loose rebound. And the possession arrow is going to keep it at this end of the court.
We've talked about both of these coaches' philosophies with their defense, both man-to-man coaches like to see that kind of pressure defense, but for Waverly-Shell Rock, Coach Bodensteiner says he's old school. He likes to run flex. He likes to run high-low. He likes to run Kansas.
Bryn Hatzel scores for Center Point-Urbana to cut the gap to 3.
And to show you the difference in offense for Center Point-Urbana, they run a motion, and we have seen that all day long here in this ball game. The motion and the offense moving without the ball, the way the ball moves around from player to player, it never sits in one spot too long.
Well, Greg Bodensteiner says, and he's proud to admit this, he says, I am very structured offensively.
Very structured, and it he laughed about it, but you know what? There's something to be said about old school offense. It works, and it's worked for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be down at Wells Fargo Arena playing for a state title.
And making their making their second straight state tournament appearance. Center Point-Urbana here for the 5th year in a row and the 8th time overall. And defense continues to really be what's propelling the Go-Hawks to maintain their lead. There was an opportunity to cut a 3-point deficit, and the turnover gives it back to the Go-Hawks.
And you just have to make the most of those opportunities. You've got to value the possession. Once you get it in your hands, make sure that you have a good set.
A nice catch showed the pass by Behrens, but she can't finish. Fast breaking. The center pointers, the spin move, and the shot won't go, and both teams really having a tough time just getting shots to go down right now. Penetration by Hadsel, count it, and she will go to the line for an and one.
Well, talk about tough shots. That one was a really tough shot. Hadsel takes it into the middle of the lane, bangs knees as she's going up for the shot, floats it in, and gets to the line.
Brittany Young committing the foul. Bryn Hadsel is a senior. Her sister Lane is a freshman, and both see a lot of action. Hadsel with a 5-point second quarter. And this ties the ball game for the first time at 11.
Substitution for CPU number 5, Lane Hadsel.
Lane Hadsel will come into the lineup to replace her sister Bryn. Substitutions today brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Pressure comes from Center Point-Urbana, and Waverly-Shell Rock handles it well.
They've done a really nice job of handling the pressure so far, and again, talking about turnovers, you look at those numbers, Waverly-Shell Rock with only 4 here in the ball game, and the Storm and Pointers with 8.
Young pitches it cross court to Rolling. Rolling to the basket. Kenzie Rolling with her first basket of the afternoon.
What a great effort by Rolling. She scores the bucket, turns around immediately, starts playing defense. Almost got a steal down there.
Her coach calls her a great competitor. In fact, early in the year, when Waverly-Shell Rock lost their first 2 games, Kenzie Rolling is an outstanding soccer player, had a lot of soccer commitment. She's decided to play at the University of Iowa. However, they felt when she got back and got into basketball shape, that's when this team really began to gel and get things going.
Yeah, and they felt like once she got into a rhythm, everybody got used to her being back into the lineup. Things really clicked for them, and what a great teammate to have, and somebody that is a multi-sport athlete. Yes, honored her commitments for soccer, is gonna, as you had mentioned, gonna go and play at Iowa. But then once that's done, she turned all her attention to basketball, and it's paid dividends.
And how good a soccer player is Rolling? The University of Iowa offered a scholarship before she went to high school.
Yeah, even before she played a high school game, they said, we'd like you to come play. So that tells you her ability on the soccer field.
I'd say that is pretty impressive as Riley Goebel misfires on the shot. Brittany Young, who's a 4-sport athlete at Waverly-Shell Rock, bringing it up. Finds Draper inside, and Draper finds the basket. Abby Draper with her 6th point of the first half.
They've made it difficult to get the ball to Draper, but they finally found a way to get it to her in a spot that she could get a good look at the hoop.
So defense has been ruling for both teams. Nearly a steal there by Rolling. And here is Center Point-Urbana being held to just 11 points past the midway point in the second quarter.
And I think Rolling's going to pick up a foul. It just tried to get a little too aggressive, trying to poke that ball away from behind.
Adriana Catcher back onto the floor for Center Point-Urbana. Substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance. Catcher tries to slip the pass in the corner to Lane Hadsel, and the turnover gives the ball back to Waverly-Shell Rock. as Bryn Hadsel back onto the floor along with Peyton Kriegel.
Just a little too fast for center Point-Urbana. They're just getting ahead of themselves, and that's what's causing the turnovers. They're playing at a pace that Waverly-Shell Rock wants them to play. They need to gain that tempo and that momentum back to a pace that they would like to play.
Waverly-Shell Rock hasn't been behind in this game after opening a 4-0 lead. They got caught a moment ago at 11, and now they tried to extend the 4-point lead. And if they do, it would be their biggest. And a timeout taken by Waverly-Shell Rock. They got tied up on the baseline, and so Coach Greg Bodensteiner stands up and asks for a timeout. 2:43 left to play in the first half of a low-scoring defensive battle.
Well, we talked about it, that these two teams met early on in the season, and it was a low-scoring game as well, 40-38. And Center Point-Urbana came out on top in that ball game. But so just based on that, looking back at that ball game, you would expect that this one would be a defensive struggle.
And that it has been. Play resumes at 2:43 left to play in the first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll be visiting with the North Scott coach, TJ Case. His team a 20-point victory in the first 4A quarterfinal today.
You know, smart move by Rolling. She let that ball go into the backcourt. I think her momentum, if she would have grabbed it in the front court, might have taken her into the backcourt and caused an over and back violation.
Young works it on the near sideline to Rolling. Waverly-Shell Rock coming out of the timeout, and apparently Coach Bodensteiner asked for some patience from his offense until they get a good shot, and they do, as Cameron Grayway connects for the Go Hawks.
Well, they did. They were very patient. They ran the offense and got a good look, good rotation, and found Grayway.
6-point lead for Waverly-Shell Rock, their biggest of the afternoon. Hadsel trying to break down Rolling. And the foul.
I believe that's going to be foul number 2 on Rolling.
It is. So Rolling has 2. Sasser Wilson has 2 also for Waverly-Shell Rock. And Riley Goebel with a pair for Center Point-Urbana as Hadsel knocks down the free throw. She's got a 6-point quarter. So her 6 points in the second quarter, as many as her team scored in the first quarter. Hadsel, a senior, role player last year, starter this year, averages 6 points a game, and she's up to 7 already.
And she's that player for them that can get to the rim. She can put the ball on the floor, turn the corner, get downhill, and they might need a little more of that type of action from her.
Hadsel, an 81% free throw shooter. No surprise she cashed those in. Draper gets fouled. Peyton Kriegel picks up her second foul.
And just standing here from our vantage point, you can certainly see the height difference between Kriegel and Draper.
It's significant, 6'1" to 5'4".
Yeah, it is significant, and Kriegel had the backside, had the rotation to be on the backside, covering up defensively, and she did everything she could, and it was the best possible scenario. She fouled her, didn't give her the easy bucket, make her earn them from the line, knowing that Draper's not shooting it very well from the stripe.
But so far today, a different story, 3 out of 4. A slash to the basket by Hadsel, but it won't go, and coming out with a rebound is Brittany Young.
Brittany Young flashed defensively to the baseline side. That made her change her shot.
Young, a 2-year starter in 4 sports, volleyball, a track qualifier, obviously basketball and softball as well.
She did give up softball last summer just to be able to work a little bit more on basketball.
Draper on the pass from Young, and the rebound grabbed by Catcher. Catcher quickly up the court. Catcher, cross-country state champ 3 times in 3A. So this lengthy floor, not a concern for Coach Phil Klett. He knew his team could run the floor well.
And especially when you have somebody that just kind of goes out and runs for fun.
You really?
You can run all day long.
Explain that concept to me.
Yeah, that's not a concept that I know. And catcher being a really good cross-country runner, and those are the kinds of players that you like because it allows you to do things differently with your defense. You can continue to put pressure on for 4 quarters.
So Waverly-Shell Rock leading throughout this first half, and now we're down to 36 seconds remaining in the first half.
I think both of these teams are going to welcome the halftime break and get into the locker room, take a deep breath, talk about some adjustments, and then come out for a real battle in the second half.
Greg Bodensteiner will really be pleased with the way his team defended in this first half. Center Point-Urbana aggressively defending, and coming up with a steal is Adriana Catcher, but it's taken right back by Brittany Young. Draper spins, finds an open player at the top of the circle, and Trinity Moore drills it for Waverly-Shell Rock to end the quarter. And Waverly-Shell Rock will go to the locker room at halftime with their biggest lead of the afternoon.
What a great job by Waverly-Shell Rock, recognizing what the situation was. The time was winding down. They tried the baseline, kick it back out, and Trinity Moore took her time and loaded it up and knocked it down.
So it's halftime at Wells Fargo Arena with Waverly-Shell Rock leading Center Point-Urbana 21-13. We'll be right back with more halftime activities. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
They say Buena Vista University is in the middle of a bunch of fields.
Hey guys, wait up!
Game on.
They say our idea of fun is morning tea.
And afternoon tea.
And anytime tea.
And we hang out like bumps on a log.
They say Storm Lake, Iowa isn't in the center of the action.
And when we study, we're not exactly grounded.
But you know what we say.
You gotta see it to believe it.
It's game day. Brisket smoking. The stakes are huge. Full rack, baby back. Fired up, quarter pound. Fast pass, dribble down. Slam dunk. Buzzers beat.
Victory goes to Fairway, the champion of meat.
With new Casey's Rewards, you can turn pizza into school donations. Download the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into donations to the schools you care about most. Or turn points into Casey's Cash or fuel discounts. Start earning more ways to give and get a little more good. Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good. Now at Casey's, our delicious handmade taco pizza is just $13.99. Casey's, here for good.
It's halftime at Wells Fargo Arena. Halftime score, Waverly-Shell Rock 21 and Center Point-Urbana 13, as we welcome the coach of the defending 4A champs from a year ago, who opened defense of their tournament title of a year ago with an important 20-point win over Clear Creek Amana, as we welcome TJ Case. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You know, I know coaches look at things sometimes differently than fans do. So how did you rate your performance in the quarterfinal?
I thought we came out real well with a lot of pressure, a lot of energy. I thought we dictated the speed of the game a little bit in the beginning, put a little pressure on them, which created us into points. And I thought we were very balanced on getting the ball to our guards when Grace was getting doubled.
And Grace Buffelli, nevertheless, being doubled a lot still, 28 points, 9 rebounds. What makes her special?
Well, she's just she's real physical for one. I think she runs the floor extremely well. She finishes through contact, and I mean, she's a handle. She's been dealing with, 2 and 3 people guarding her all year long, and she's just kind of battled through that. She's exceptional at the free throw line as well, so it makes it tough if you foul her. She's going to knock down throws. I thought tonight she was really good at understanding when she had 2 or 3 on her, and she kicked out to some guards that hit some shots too.
Now, Presley Cole, another key performer for you. How does her game impact your team?
Yeah, Press does a lot of really, really good things for us. I mean, she's our girl on top that handles the ball, and she's the one that kind of sets the tone and getting the offense going. I mean, her and Grace have been very connected. They've been playing together since they were in 3rd grade. So, we love her assist, but I thought she got going with her shot tonight from the 3, and I thought she put it on the floor well and finished into her floater. So, when we can get a couple other guards, Kilberg and I thought Sam Scott did a good job. When we're balanced, thought Latham was really good, our other post inside. So we're real balanced tonight. We're going to be a tough team to beat.
Certainly you're no stranger coming to state. We mentioned you won it last year. What have you learned about coming into this arena and playing in this tournament from your years of experience?
Well, you just got to kind of relax. You got to take a deep breath. I reminded the girls that when you're here, you got to act like it's us playing back at North Scott in the pit. You can't get caught up in the fancy lights and the size of the crowds and all that. You just got to play basketball, something that they've been doing since 3rd grade. So I thought our energy and effort, and I thought they trusted one another tonight, and that's we've done it together the whole way, so it was good.
You say since 3rd grade. You must have an outstanding feeder program to have the success you've had.
Yeah, we do, actually. My wife helps with that feeder program. We got 2 other ladies in the community that help with that, and we've got somewhere about 120 to 130 youth kids playing from 3rd grade up. So we just want to kind of try to make this tradition each and every year, and the next group comes. We know girls graduate and walk across that stage, so you got to keep up. Got to have that youngers playing.
Yeah, and from 3rd grade, they've been either watching on TV or coming down here and seeing the older players do it. That's got to make them really have great desire.
Yeah, it does. Before we left, we had a little tour through some of the elementary schools, and we want those younger girls to see our team walk through there and them kind of idolize those kids and those girls. So, yeah, it's really neat, really special. The community was great coming out tonight, so we're just excited that we're going to get a chance to play another game in the semis.
You mentioned your wife, and behind every successful coach is a very successful spouse who's there really helping in the background.
Yeah, my wife has been phenomenal. She's the glue that keeps us together. I mean, she puts up with a lot of stuff where my mind is other places and basketball things, and I probably miss some chores around the house that I need to do, and I keep putting them off till basketball gets over. But she understands that, and she's dealt with it for 20 years, and she's just a special, special woman.
Well, you've been watching this battle, which is a defensive struggle. What's impressed you about this one so far?
Waverly-Shell looks like they kind of want to slow it down. I think, they've kind of got that game. I think they're defending CPU pretty well right now. Both teams have a lot of length. I think the guards for CPU are pretty aggressive putting the thing on the floor. They just got to finish around the rim a little bit better. I think that'll be a little closer game, but we'll play either one of them. We'll figure out after this is over who we're playing. We'll put our game plan together, and we'll go attack them on Thursday.
Now, will you go back home, or do you stay in Des Moines?
Yeah, no, we're going home tonight. We'll watch a couple of the games tonight or here, and then we'll head back. We're going to get to our boys' game they're playing in Cedar Rapids. On the way home, we'll catch that game, and the girls will be back in school tomorrow. We feel like it's important to get them back into a little bit of a routine. We'll be in our gym for practice tomorrow, and then we'll come back up Thursday morning.
What about the length of this court and the shooting background, which is different and requires an adjustment? Has that ever been an issue for your squad?
Our girls shoot the ball down here pretty well. They feel pretty comfortable. We do a good job of trying to get them over to a couple of the colleges before we get up here. So we've practiced at Ambrose, and we've practiced at Augustana to give them that longer floor. I think it's not so much offensively, but it's more defensively. If you don't run the entire length of the floor to defend, you give up easy baskets to the back. So we want to get to the baseline and work ourselves out defensively.
Coach Case, congratulations on your first victory here at state this year and your defending championship. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Nice to meet you. CJ Case is our halftime guest, the head coach of North Scott. the top-seeded team in this tournament, and they certainly opened defense of their title with an impressive first game victory in the quarterfinals. Halftime of this one finds Waverly-Shell Rock, a team that's led all the way up 21-13, and you are watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament, which is presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Crowded lecture halls? Not anymore. Southwestern Community College is a different place. It's where we break from traditional college to do what's best for your career. It's about teaching the way you learn, having fun along the way, and giving you the experience you need for what comes next. A job and an income in as little as 1 year. That's why you go to college in the first place. Southwestern Community College. Your career starts here. Check out SWIC's career-related programs at swiciowa.edu/yourcareer.
It's game day. Brisket smoking. The stakes are huge. Full rack, baby back. Fired up, quarter pound. Fast pass, dribble down. Slam dunk. Buzzers beat.
Victory goes to Fairway, the champion of me.
Believe it when I know ya, we going high. Gotta climb to the top, but we never gonna stop. When I know ya, we going high. We going high.
Hey, Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu.
Des Moines. The S's are silent. Our city is buzzing. Catch what you've been missing today.
With Laura Leonard and our producer Anna Bassett, I'm Larry Morgan. It's halftime with Waverly-Shell Rock leading Center Point-Urbana 21-13. Laura, let's take a look at the numbers.
Well, you can see that it's been a struggle for both of these teams to score. Most of the points have been in the paint. Waverly-Shell Rock shooting at 42%, 35% for Center Point-Urbana, and neither team really doing much damage from long distance. Rebounds about even and assists about even. Turnovers has been an issue for Center Point-Urbana as Waverly-Shell Rock has been able to get 9 points off of those 11 turnovers.
And that may be the biggest statistic thus far. Waverly-Shell Rock led all the way in the first half. They led at the end of the quarter 11-6. The game was tied early in the second quarter, and then Waverly-Shell Rock's defense made the difference down the stretch, and that's why they had their biggest lead as the second half begins. But a quick start for Center Point-Urbana as the shot knocked down by Lauren Defoe.
Great inside-out action. They put it into the post, kicked it outside for the jumper of Defoe.
Draper's pass, too tall for Young, and so Center Point-Urbana a chance to score back-to-back to open the third quarter.
The defense comes up big, and a chance to maybe change the momentum.
Peyton Kriegel on the dribble, gives it up for Hadsel. and she knocks down a shot.
And that's the kind of start that they were looking for coming out of the locker room at halftime. And, you know, you knock down a couple of shots like that, that helps fire up your defense.
Edsel with 9 points, got 6, make it 7 in that second quarter. Draper wheels into the lane, well covered. Young looking in against the defense of Kriegel.
You want to make very sure with this possession that you get some points, because if you don't, then that is another win for the defense of the Storm and Pointers.
An open look from long range by Defoe, or excuse me, by Neighbor. Actually by Behrens, I'll get that right momentarily. As the Storm and Pointers on the attack, and a tie-up.
You know, I have to say, Larry, it is hard. Both of these school colors are black and gold, and so you look at them and it's hard to distinguish. They've got a lot of players that have the same body type, that look the same, that play the same, so it is a little difficult to get things down.
Rolling, pressured in the backcourt. Gets some help from Grayway.
Coming with the trap, that's something we didn't see in the first half. Trapping at the half-court line, and a big block down there by Catcher,
who had 47 during the regular season. Catcher, big game in the regional final, a 20.7 rebound, 3 block effort against Central DeWitt.
Those are the kinds of performances that you need helping your team get to state.
Draper with another basket. She's maybe been the key player in the game thus far for either squad.
Yeah, she's done a nice job of making herself available to receive the basketball, and then when she gets it in her hand, she makes something happen.
Kriegel works it to Catcher. Kriegel will try a 3-ball that won't go. Run down the rebound is Catcher. Is Hansel trying to get free? Kriegel will take a look at the defense deployed by Waverly-Shell Rock. Nice feed inside to Catcher. The turnaround rolls off the rim, and Draper grabs the rebound.
Boy, battle on the boards between Catcher and Draper.
The Gohawks a chance to expand their lead. And the three-pointer is short, and the rebound taken by Adriana Catcher. Catcher, a 4-year starter in this program. Draper from behind with the block on Defoe.
And that's how you get back in defensive transition. It looked like center Point-Urbana was going to have one of their patented runouts, but they were able to get back and Draper get there and swat it away.
Taylor Reeves onto the court for center Point-Urbana. Substitutions today brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Mark Royer, the official there, ruling the ball out of bounds. Off of Waverly-Shell Rock. Catcher with an air ball, trying to save it and getting the job done. Good effort by Riley Goebel.
Goebel did a great job. They tried to set the screen up top for Catcher with the step-back jumper. She came up short, but Goebel stayed right with it, able to knock it off of Waverly-Shell Rock.
Reeves with the inbounds pass to Goebel, but she can't finish. Does a good job defensively done on her by Annika Behrens. Ball out of bounds. Off of Brittany Young.
And Goebel's defense just right with her. And there again, a height difference. You get some of those long, lanky players out on top, and the pressure of the defense, it's going to cause the guards some problems.
Goebel averaging 16 points a game, having a tough shooting day, but for center Point-Urbana to be successful, they probably need to get more points from her. She's only scored 2 today.
Yeah, you need to get a little bit more point production, and you got to get a little more balance in the lineup.
Both teams doing a good job of clogging up the middle. There have not been many shots from the paint.
Making it very difficult to see the cutters.
Young finds Draper. That combo has really been successful today.
Just short-armed it. I don't think she realized how wide open she was.
Defoe coming down with the rebound. And the pass by Reeves deflected out of bounds. Morgan Scott, who scored a basket off the bench in the first quarter, back onto the floor for Waverly-Shell Rock. Today's subs brought to you by IMT Insurance. Claire Neighbor onto the floor for center Point-Urbana, replacing Lauren Defoe. The turnaround, no, but Catcher gets fouled and will go to the line.
Now, Catcher just worked her way and kind of backed down the defense, and they gave her that nice bounce pass. She had two defenders on her, and she knew exactly what she was going to do with the basketball when she got it in her hands, went up strong, and took it right at Draper.
Catcher, who averages 13, scores her third point of the afternoon. So basically, it's been Hansel that's been the offense for center Point-Urbana. Catcher averages 13. Goebel averages 16.5, and they have really been held down thus far today. Ball out of bounds, last touched by the Stormin' Pointers.
When you look at the early matchup back in December, Catcher had 11 points, Goebel had 14 points in that ball game. Draper had 15 points and 8 rebounds. Brittany Young came up with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in that contest.
Draper continues to be the outstanding scorer for the Go-Hawks as she slides inside for an and one.
What great body control as she moves down the lane, receives the pass, and makes a strong power move to the hoop.
Draper, who's scored 27 points for her career high against Mason City earlier this year. Draper now with 12 points, 5 in this quarter. Adriana Archer, a 4-year starter for center Point-Urbana, bringing it ahead. This is Bryn Hadsel. Neighbors pass picked off, and once again turnovers the story of this ball game as far as center Point-Urbana's effort to try to make a comeback.
You know, all coaches tell you got to take care of the basketball. You got to value possessions, and as the clock starts winding down and Waverly-Shell Rock starts hitting shots like that, you got to make sure that every possession counts.
Brittany Young knocks down the shot, and that gives Waverly-Shell Rock an 11-point lead, their biggest of the ball game. So there's timeout on the floor with 3:05 left to play in this quarter. Waverly-Shell Rock finds themselves ahead throughout thus far. Back with more action in a moment as you're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Waldorf University, we are warriors. On campus and online. In the classroom and on the field. Our work today will power tomorrow, continuing a rich tradition started in 1903. And once you're one of us, you forever are. Waldorf University, we are warriors.
Back at Wells Fargo Arena, Waverly-Shell Rock has opened their biggest lead of the afternoon. Right now they're on an 8-1 run and have a 29-18 advantage. So it is time for center Point-Urbana to make a move to get back into this one. And the ball nearly tipped away, almost a steal, by Kenzie Rowling.
Well, they've got that little bit of a cushion, so they can afford to gamble and turn up the defense.
Nearly a takeaway by Sasha Wilson, who had to spend some time on the bench after picking up 2 early fouls. And as Catcher comes down, she gets fouled.
And that is on Sasha Wilson, and so that's going to be number 3.
So Wilson with her 3rd foul. Center Point-Urbana with 2:35 left to play in the 3rd quarter, trying to mount a comeback. Catcher inside, gets fouled. Foul going to be called against, I believe, Sasha Wilson, and if so, it's number 4, and it is. Wilson with her 4th foul.
No, she's put in the game, got the defensive assignment on Catcher, and Catcher with the good quick feet and the spin move took it right at her, knowing that she had just picked up her third. Might as well go right at her, see if we can get number 4 on her, and they did.
So catcher not necessarily having the scoring performance that she is used to, but doing a good job drawing fouls.
Can score at the free throw line too, and she's doing a good job of getting herself there, but they really are making her work for every point, and we're going to see a little bit of an extended defense that turns into a turnover and a steal.
It works this time as catcher works it on top, guarded by Rolling. The ball goes inside to Claire Neighbor.
What a great look and a great post by Neighbor down low.
And so, Center Point-Urbana trims the 11-point lead down to 7, extends the pressure, and gets the 10-second call.
Just a little too patient getting the ball up the floor. They've done a good job of it, and they did a good job in the first half of passing, getting the ball to the middle, and breaking the pressure. But now you've got Goebel out on the point of this extended defense, and she's causing problems for the guards that are in the backcourt.
Scott leaves the lineup for Waverly-Shell Rock. Catcher in and out, a tough shot. And the rebound is taken by Cameron Grayway.
Boy, how did that one not fall down? It was halfway down and rolled back out.
Grayway having trouble controlling it. Crowd wanted an over and back, but she was in front, so no over and back. A takeaway, though, by catcher. Adriana Catcher really getting her hands on a lot of balls now. Takes it all the way to the rack and gets fouled.
Just the constant pressure. And Grayway was having trouble getting the ball up the court, but nobody else was allowing any of her teammates to come open, so they made her bring it up the court. When she picked it up, everybody got in the passing lane. That's what led to the steal, and Catcher coming down and drawing contact.
Young on the foul. Catcher at the free throw line for the 5th time today and has hit 4 of them. Lane Hadsel onto the floor for Center Point-Urbana. Substitutions to today's game brought to you by IMT Insurance.
I'm going to stay with that. And there's that length. Again, Goebel being on the baseline with those arms extended tips the pass.
Goebel. And a collision, and let's see, they rule a foul on Waverly-Shell Rock's Abby Draper.
There was a collision between Draper and I'm not sure who else from Waverly-Shell Rock, but they went to the floor. They were trying to get out in position to play defense, and with Draper being on the floor, she was picking up the foul, not really intentionally.
Young grabs the rebound on the miss by Catcher. Minute 14 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Waverly-Shell Rock leading by as many as 11 in this quarter, now up by 5.
They're giving them some room out on the perimeter, but quickly shutting it down and closing down the middle.
Claire Neighbor misfiring on the 3. Hadsel quickly bringing it ahead to Catcher. Hadsel, the left-hander, fires a 3 ball. It won't go. And the rebound taken down by Draper. Draper, just a handful of rebounds in addition to everything else she has done for Waverly-Shell Rock today.
Looks like Hadsel a little too aggressive, trying to get a steal right before the quarter runs out.
And for Elaine Hadsel, her first foul. CPU making a couple of changes. I'll remind you that substitutions today brought to you by IMT Insurance. Both coaches going to their bench frequently. The Go Hawks perhaps playing for the last shot of the quarter with a 5-point lead.
Got a lot of motion. They need to start running their offense now if they want to get a bucket.
Abby Draper inside, and she's going to be called for an offensive foul.
Stuck that arm out. She made the nice move, and Goebel was right there. But when Draper stuck the arm out, that's a sign to the official that's probably going to be called a charge.
Scott in for Draper. Draper with 2 fouls, and Greg Bodensteiner does not want her to pick up her her third, I should say, in the final 10 seconds of the third quarter. Catcher shoots off the dribble. Rebound is taken by Young, and that will end the third quarter. And at the end of 3 periods of play, it's Waverly-Shell Rock leading Center Point-Urbana by a score of 29-25. And we
might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
With new Casey's Rewards, you can turn pizza into school donations. Download the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into donations to the schools you care about most. Or turn points into Casey's cash or fuel discounts. Start earning more ways to give and get a little more good. Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good. Now at Casey's, our delicious handmade taco pizza is just $13.99. Casey's, here for good.
Hey, Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu.
Center Point-Urbana scores the last 6 points of the third quarter, Laura, to make it a 5-point game after they found themselves down 29-18. And a reminder that fans, Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu. Fourth quarter begins with a big rebound taken down by Waverly-Shell Rock's Kenzie Rolling.
They got Goebel set up, made a nice spin move. It's exactly what they wanted to do coming out to start the quarter, get a good look and a high percentage shot. They just couldn't convert.
Young leaves the drive short. Effort at a rebound there by Draper, but tips it over to Center Point-Urbana. Under 8 minutes to try to catch a team that has led all the way. The open look, and it's drilled by Peyton Kriegel.
She is their three-point shooter. 82 of 101 of her field goal attempts coming into this ball game from three-point range, and we had a great look at it. We were right at the right angle. It was good all the way.
Trying to cut inside to score is Kenzie Rolling, and she is fouled. Lane Hadsel committing her second foul. So Rolling, who has not scored but has had a lot to do getting loose balls and other things for the Go-Hawks, puts her team up by 3. Rolling, a 65% free throw shooter on the year, gets her 4th point of the afternoon. And it's a 4-point lead for Waverly-Shell Rock. Defoe working it outside for Kriegel. Now Goebel will take it to the rack. She is challenged by Draper, and she is fouled by Draper. Draper with her 3rd.
Goebel got that ball up top, gave a little pump fake, and took it right to the rim and challenged Draper. Draper got her across the arms.
Goebel, a 5'11" sophomore, already getting a lot of Division I looks, and has had an offer from Valparaiso of the Missouri Valley Conference, but not yet has made a commitment in this just her sophomore year.
She's gotten a little time to think about it, and I think a lot of people are going to be knocking on her door as her career progresses.
Yeah, that won't be her last opportunity.
No, not at all.
The Storm and Pointers extend their defense, but doing a good job handling it, getting all the way to the rack is Rolling, and she gets fouled by Catcher.
Rolling has got gotten the ball in her hands and has been aggressive, seeing that there's an opening, and she decided to take it and challenge the defense.
She goes right back to the line and misses for the first time this afternoon. Waverly-Shell Rock making their 5th state tournament appearance, 2nd in a row, as we mentioned, did not survive the quarterfinal matchup against Mason City last year. They're attempting to go further. They lead it by 3. But Center Point-Urbana as close as they've been in a long time.
Making a little bit of a run here in the 4th quarter, and it's a 2-point contest in December. I think we're headed that way here again with 6 minutes to go in the 4th.
And what we speculated at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, looking at all the stats and all the numbers, pretty even on paper, and that's the way this one's playing out.
Goebel gets fouled. And she will go to the line for just the 2nd time today. A moment ago, hitting both free throws. She knocks this one down, a 65% free throw shooter. Really an athletic player. She's a player who uses her 5'11" frame very impressively, and that's why the college coaches find such an interest in her and her potential.
Well, her thought process is drive first, and we've seen that several times. But her outside shot is getting better, and that's something that I know she will continue to work on, and that's going to make her very dangerous as her career moves on.
The Waverly-Shell Rocks one-time 11-point second half lead, a single point, as they possess the ball with just under 6 minutes to play.
Now you've had the lead for a good part of this ball game. You cannot go into panic mode.
And they execute the offense well, and Kenzie Rowling gets the basket. She has a 5-point 4th quarter and has given her team a 3-point lead. Almost a takeaway by Rowling, and it is with the help of Grayway, but it's taken right back by Defoe.
Boy, never give up attitude by both of these teams. You just never safe. Secure the basketball. Make sure you clear yourself before you make a pass, before you put the ball on the floor.
Playing from behind all day, every possession so crucial now for Center Point-Urbana. They try to find catcher on the post, but it's deflected by the Go Hawks. Sasha Watson, who plays with 4 fouls, in for Cameron Grayway for Waverly-Shell Rock. Substitution brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMT Insurance, IMTINS.com. Some miscommunication there, the ball out of bounds. However, Center Point-Urbana gets a break.
They do. It's a huge break because they had the steal and probably looking at an easy layup, and the ball goes out of bounds.
And you saw Philip Klett standing in front of his bench and glad to have his team still with the possession as they fight in this one with 5 minutes left to play.
When Peyton Kriegel was very close to that half-court line.
The up and under move, but the shot too high off the glass by Lauren Defoe. And here comes Waverly-Shell Rock with a 3-point lead and 4:45 to play. Baseline drive by Rowling. It's blocked by Goebel. It's picked up by Rowling, and a timeout is taken by Waverly-Shell Rock. As soon as they got the possession, they called a timeout.
That was a great job by Rowling to stay after it. I liked what she did when she went inside, gave that pump fake, waited for the defense to go up, but the block was there. I think it was catcher, maybe it was Goebel that was in there that blocked the shot, and then it battled for the loose ball, able to rip it away and get the timeout called.
Well, you mentioned the last time these two teams played a 2-point game, and this was back on December the 5th. Won by Center Point-Urbana. The score was 40-38, and it looks like this kind of finish is headed for a similar score.
We might have the same kind of score, and as we had mentioned as well, Waverly-Shell Rock had a 3-pointer at the buzzer to win it and came up short.
Nearly a steal. Actually, it was a steal by Hansel, but then retrieved back by Rowling. Loose ball, big fight for it, and coming up with it, some great effort. On the drive, the shot won't go. But a big offensive rebound by Goebel. From the top of the circle, catcher misses. And the rebound pulled out by Annika Behrens.
Goebel had a hand in every part of that play. She got the steal. She was on the floor. She got up. She came down. It was a big part of that offense, but they just came up short on the catcher jumper.
Turnover gives it back to center Point-Urbana. Behrens, who got that big rebound a moment ago, earned a medal in the state wrestling tournament this year, and you saw there she's pretty tough inside.
Yeah, that you know that she's got some good upper body strength and can battle when the ball gets down low and gets on the floor.
Adriana Catcher, the 5'11 senior, bringing it ahead. Eight fouls called in this second half, so in the bonus is CPU, and they hit a big three-pointer. Catcher knocks down a big three-pointer to tie the game for just the second time today. It was tied early at 11, now tied to 34 with 3:38 left to play.
That time was a confident three-point shot. She had not knocked one down up until that point, and once she knocked it down, fired up, told her team to say, let's go, it's time for us to make our move. They called a quick timeout, and they're going to get some things set here.
So we've come down to the final 3 minutes and 38 seconds of this one. Again, 18 fouls called against Waverly-Shell Rock, so Center Point-Urbana is in the bonus. Just 4 calls, though, called against Center Point-Urbana. So free throw shooting could be a factor down the stretch.
And that could be something that as it gets closer and the clock starts winding down, how are you going to have to play it? Are you going to have to put the opponent on the line to extend the ball game? What are you going to have to do? So, yes, definitely free throws are going to play a big factor in this one.
Center Point-Urbana, 3A champs last year, moved up to 4A this year. Catcher and Goebel on the all-tournament team a year ago for them in their big 3A championship. And Waverly-Shell Rock not surviving the quarterfinal last year, but back for a second year in a row. Not been in the semifinals since 2013. They try to hang on after leading by as many as 11, but now the game tied. Ball knocked away momentarily, and we get a tie ball.
I think they
Or did they call a foul?
Yeah,
you're right, they called a foul.
Get a foul on Hadsel. They're still going to continue with the pressure, and they have forced them to the sidelines, not allowing them to get the ball in the middle where you have more options against pressure.
Hadsel, as you saw, coming up over the top and therefore committing the foul.
And they survive the first wave of pressure, get the ball into the front court, now can get set into their offense.
Rolling finds Sasha Wilson. Young looks inside. Right now, they're really doing a good job bottling up the inside. And so it's a pretty much a perimeter game right now for Waverly-Shell Rock. Young for three, no. Offensive rebound is not there either. Draper battling. Defoe for the rebound. Defoe coming up with it. Open look for Hadsel. And the ball kicked out of bounds, and it goes to Center Point-Urbana. They have a chance to take their first lead of the afternoon.
Nobody could seem to get a handle on that basketball, and it's a good look. It's a good shot. Just came up a little bit short, the scramble for the loose ball. Nobody could reel it in, and Center Point-Urbana has the opportunity to take the lead.
Kriegel in for Bryn Hadsel. Sub brought to you by IMT Insurance. The Storm and Pointers looking for their first lead of the afternoon. They're the 4th seed. Waverly-Shell Rock the 5th seed. A takeaway once again. Turnover's a big story, but a take back by Catcher. And then a violation spotted inside.
Traveling on the inside on the spin move.
And with that move, and it's a costly turnover because now it is Waverly-Shell Rock with an opportunity to unbreak the score.
A series of turnovers back and forth, and a good job defensively, Brittany Young on Catcher. And the pass to Catcher initially into the post was a little too low, just went right between her feet. And
Scott out, Barron's in for Waverly-Shell Rock. Rolling, and Young handle the ball a lot and do it effectively for Waverly-Shell Rock. We near the 2-minute mark in the 4th quarter of the tie game. Young takes a shot. Catcher grabs the rebound. Open look at a three. Won't go by Claire Neighbor.
Now I think you're getting to the time in this ball game. You have the possession. You want to make sure that you get the best possible shot as the clock is winding down.
Greg Bodensteiner, who has taken this team to 4 state tournaments using a timeout. It comes with 1:38 seconds left to play. And you're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Waldorf University, we are warriors. On campus and online. In the classroom and on the field. Our work today will power tomorrow, continuing a rich tradition started in 1903. And once you're one of us, you forever are. Waldorf University, we are warriors.
This game going right down to the wire, tied at 34. Center Point-Urbana, the 4th seed. Waverly-Shell Rock, the 5th seed. Second meeting of the year between these two. December 5th, a 2-point game. Won by Center Point-Urbana. Center Point-Urbana never leading in this game, trailing by as many as 11. And right now tied for just the second time at 34.
Pressure's going to come out defensively.
Young looks baseline for rolling. Rolling gets covered up.
That was a risky
by
pass.
Kriegel. It was. Open look, and the shot is short. Sasha Wilson on the miss. The ball kicked out of bounds, and it will once again go to Center Point-Urbana. So both teams with some opportunities to break the tie, and neither able to find the basket at this point.
It's getting to the point where you're getting a little nerve, a little tight, and sometimes those shots you don't get the nice extension on the shot, and you just have to relax, live in this moment, and know what you're playing for.
Scott in for Behrens. Scott is 6 foot and Behrens is 5'5", so Waverly-Shell Rock picks up 7 inches for defense on that switch, which was brought to you by IMT Insurance.
1 minute remaining in the game.
We're down to the final minute in regulation. Goebel slices inside, and the ball knocked and blocked out of bounds by Brittany Young. And so now we are down to 53 seconds in a tie game.
And Brittany Young kind of took one in the chops as Goebel was making the drive.
Full court pressure used by Center Point-Urbana. Here's Draper taking it right to the rack and missing the shot. Battling for the rebound. It's picked up by Brittany Young.
They're going to spread the floor. They might take it down all the way.
At this point, Greg Bodensteiner doesn't look like he's going to use the timeout, and it's taken away. The steal by Defoe. And Center Point-Urbana comes up the floor, and they will use a timeout with 27.9 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of a 4A quarterfinal game tied to 34.
I think just some miscommunication and knowledge of the clock winding down that they were a little out of sorts as far as what they needed to do. I think they probably should have taken a timeout there, talked about it, say let's hold the ball and let's take the last shot and go for the win.
Casey's General Store, proud to sponsor the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Association and today's player of the game. Casey's is at the heart of many Iowa communities, cheering on our local teams and fans and making sure there's fresh pizza ready, win or lose. Sign up for the new Casey's Rewards, the rewards program that gives back by letting you redeem points for Casey's Cash, fuel discounts, or donations to local schools. Wow, what a game.
It is a huge game, and I think you have several candidates for that player of the game. Abby Draper for Waverly-Shell Rock's had quite a game, and Adriana Ketcher's had a nice game. Goebel's had a nice game. I think it's going to be very tough to name a Casey's player of the game because of how close and how hotly contested this game is.
So, playing perhaps for the last shot in regulation, Center Point-Urbana. They have never led in this game. Clock down to 12 seconds. Almost a loss, but Kriegel able to maintain the basketball. We're down to 7 seconds. Kriegel on the dribble. Has it knocked away, but picks it back up. Desperation shot at the horn. Won't go, and we're headed for overtime.
Just what we expected. We knew it was going to be a close ball game, and Center Point-Urbana able to fight their way back to get it to this point. So sometimes, you get to that point, you can't get over the hump, and they were able to get it tied up, push it to overtime. So this is going to be an interesting extra session here between these two teams.
The winner gets North Scott in the semifinals. On Thursday at 5 o'clock, North Scott with a 20-point win over Clear Creek Amana earlier today by a score of 63-43, led by Grace Buffelli's 28 points and 9 rebounds.
That was quite a performance by Grace Buffelli in that ball game, and North Scott looking to repeat as champions in 4A.
So going into this overtime period, based on the way both teams were unable to score a basket late in the ball game, I'm not sure if anybody's got momentum going in, are you?
You would think that Center Point-Urbana would have a little extra momentum going in just because they were able to climb back into it and tie it up, but I think the way the defense was played by Waverly-Shell Rock has got to give them a little momentum, but there's not a whole lot of edge to either side.
And so we go to an extra session in this one. And I'm sure if you didn't have a rooting interest, you wouldn't want this game to end because it's been very entertaining.
It has been a very fun ball game, and yes, it's been a defensive grind, but there has been a lot of action and a lot of opportunity to score.
4 minutes on the clock as the overtime period begins with Center Point-Urbana grabbing the basketball, looking for their first lead, and they got it right there. Bryn Hadsel knocks down the shot.
Right off of the tip, there was a battle off the jump ball, and Hadsel was wide open at the three-point line.
Her first three of the afternoon. Couldn't have come at a better time for Center Point-Urbana.
Now, if you're Waverly-Shell Rock, you can't play like it's the last possession of the game. Go ahead and play it like it's the last 3.5 minutes of the ball game.
Again, both teams cold, neither team scoring in approximately the last 2 minutes of regulation. Draper inside, can't finish. Rebound taken down by Catcher.
Boy, Hadsel thought about it again. Hadsel thought about maybe pulling the trigger on another three.
And then Hadsel fired a pass errantly into the backcourt, so the over and back violation gives it to the Go Hawks. Center Point-Urbana, winners of 3A last year, trying to duplicate that feat in 4A this year. The lob goes inside, the shot put down. You go to Draper when you need a big basket, and she connects with one for the Go Hawks.
And you didn't need to go for the three at that time. Just put some points on the board, and that's exactly what they did.
Plenty of time to go in overtime, and this one is Defoe misses. And Waverly-Shell Rock has a chance to grab the lead in overtime.
I think Draper maybe got a piece of that shot.
Draper handles it on the outside, picked up by Goebel. Tries to get around her, Goebel gets the block. Young picks it up, she'll try, and she'll get fouled and will go to the line.
It's going to be the third foul on Catcher. What a matchup, though, between Goebel and Draper, just going one-on-one right at each other.
Young, a 75% free throw shooter, first trip to the line today. Ties it at 37. Claire Neighbor back on for Center Point-Urbana. Sub brought to you by IMT Insurance. Brittany Young, couple of pressurized free throws as her team regains the lead at 38-37. Kriegel, guarded by Grayway. The ball tipped out of bounds over the head of my partner, Laura Leonard, who makes a great catch.
And I was so open, man, I would have knocked down the three.
And it's one of the first times I've ever seen you turn down a shot opportunity. Going back to your playing days at Drake,
Right.
not that many years ago.
Right. That's the key word right there, not many years ago.
Lauren Defoe to inbound for Center Point-Urbana. Kriegel being watched by Grayway. Goebel tries to get inside. Outside look, the three, bombed home by Peyton Kriegel. A big three in the fourth quarter and a big three in overtime to give her team a 40-38 lead.
And a quick timeout to talk about what they need to do from this point on. 2 minutes left in the overtime. Good ball rotation. Get it out to Peyton Kriegel, who knocks down a three-point shot. And you're right, she hit a big one in the fourth quarter and is able to connect here in the overtime.
First overtime in the tournament, in this 2020 tournament. There have been close games, exciting games, but we're in our first extra period.
And you know, we looked at kind of the brackets and we kind of thought, okay, we knew it was going to be close. This game, we thought that it might be some extra basketball, some bonus basketball, but it has certainly been entertaining, and these two teams have gone at one another, and these last 2 minutes are going to be very intriguing.
Both teams have had big moments in the second half from their key players. Catcher with 10 points, but 8 of them have come in the second half. And Draper's been consistent all games, 7 in the first half, 7 in the second half for Waverly-Shell Rock.
Sorry, last time Waverly-Shell Rock was able to break the pressure fairly easily.
And you know that was a discussion on Philip Kletz's bench during his timeout.
Got to get it into the front court.
And that they do with Draper looking down low and firing it too high for Annika Behrens.
Just got a little ahead of themselves, and they did a good job of getting the ball into the front court. They were running out of time against the press, but they were able to advance it, and it was a nice backdoor cut, but the pass sailed on Draper.
Grayway in for Waverly-Shell Rock, and Bryn Hansel, number 15, on for Center Point-Urbana as IMT brings you those subs. Riley Goebel had a quiet game until the fourth quarter when she got to the free throw line. But you get the feeling that, and she's had a tough shooting day, but there may be some heroics left in her.
Well, they have time to work the clock down as they have the 2-point lead.
Goebel, the leading scorer for Center Point-Urbana on the season at nearly 17 a game, but has been held down tonight.
At some point, they're going to have to come out and foul and extend the game, stop the clock.
As we come down to the final minute in this first overtime period. And Center Point-Urbana may be playing for the last shot. They've got the lead of 2. And the foul called. Big free throws coming up.
And Coach Klett over there on the sidelines, very animated, telling him to get out, bring the ball out. We're not going to go to the hoop. We're going to make them foul, and that's exactly what they did.
And so to the line goes Bryn Hansel. Annika Behrens back onto the floor for Waverly-Shell Rock, replacing Morgan Scott.
Some offense for defense substitutions on both sides.
Hansel, an 81% free throw shooter. She's perfect today in 4 tries. Has 13 points to lead her team in scoring. And if this one goes down, it is now a 2-possession game. And it is. How about Hansel? 81% on the year. Just the player that Center Point-Urbana wanted up there.
Absolutely the one that you wanted at the line. And now Waverly-Shell Rock needs to score in a hurry.
Draper can't finish. The follow shot won't go, but a foul called. And they will go to the line in the person of Adriana Ketcher.
So again, we're going to get substitutions, offense for defense.
The foul went to Draper. That's her 4th, and a timeout is taken by Center Point-Urbana. 40.6 seconds remain in overtime. Center Point-Urbana with a 4-point lead, and Waverly-Shell Rock at the foul line.
Well, it's going to be interesting how Waverly-Shell Rock plays this. They need to knock down both of these free throws. And then do you foul right away? Do you try to get a steal? If you don't get the steal initially, then you foul. You have to keep seconds on the clock. You want to extend the game. And so that has to be what they're talking about as far as when you make the free throws and That's how a coach is going to talk. When you make these free throws, then we're going to get set up defensively. If we don't get the steal, are we going to foul? Are we going to try to get it trap? What are they going to try to do? So don't want too much time to run off the clock. And then for Center Point-Urbana, you have to take care of the basketball, step to every pass.
Catcher 5 of 6 from the foul line this afternoon, a total of 10 points. $11 for her, and now a three-point game at 42-39. Kriegel replaces Defoe with the lineup for Center Point-Urbana. One more for catcher. 40.6 remains. And this shot misses, and the rebound run down.
They're going to have to get up and foul right away.
Catcher runs down the rebound and a travel. Good defense that time by Waverly-Shell Rock's Kenzie Rolling to force the travel.
Rolling has done it all game long at critical times, being able to come up with a big play, forcing the turnover here.
And a timeout this time will be taken by Greg Bodensteiner and the Waverly-Shell Rock Go-Hawks. Timeout comes with 32.8 seconds remaining in overtime and a three-point lead for Center Point-Urbana.
Well, I think at this point in time, you still have a lot of time. Do you go for the quick score, get the two-pointer, and then try to foul? Waverly-Shell Rock has a couple of timeouts left, so they do have the opportunity to score and call a quick timeout. They might try to do that. They might try to set it up and get the three and put the pressure back on Center Point-Urbana.
One thing about it, it's a decision you live with for a long time.
Yeah, it's on a big stage. You get to the state tournament. Those are the decisions that may not be remembered back in December or January, but they're going to be remembered here at the state tournament.
Absolutely. Center Point-Urbana trying to advance against the team that got here last year and did not get past the first round. But Waverly-Shell Rock, an 11-point lead midway through the third quarter. Center Point-Urbana mounting a terrific comeback. And now Waverly-Shell Rock down by 3 with 32.8 left in overtime. Brittany Young on the dribble, guarded by catcher. Draper choked off by Goebel. Young again against catcher.
Now I think with time running off the clock, you have to go for the three-pointer, and that's, I think, why they called the timeout.
Grayway handling the basketball right in front of her bench as the coach stands up, and Philip Klett uses Greg Bodensteiner uses a timeout. So both teams, one timeout remaining, and the possession arrow favors Waverly-Shell Rock.
That's an important thing to know, and that's an important thing for those players to know as well. On the loose ball, if there's a tie-up, it does go their way, and I do think that they talked about in that first timeout that let's get the quick two and then try to foul or get the steal. When that didn't happen, they realized that they now need to go for a three-point shot with 16.7 seconds left, and that's, I think, what they're probably drawing up. If you're Center Point-Urbana, you've got to go out and really defend at that three-point line. Try to run them off the three-point line. Make them put it on the floor.
Center Point-Urbana not leading until this overtime period. They opened it with a 3 in overtime, and then once again the lead back and forth, but Center Point-Urbana in control with the lead here in the fourth quarter. And the overtime, we're down to 16.7 seconds in overtime. Waverly-Shell Rock needing a 3 to tie. 8 seconds. They'll take the 2 if they can get it. They do not, but they have a chance at the foul line.
And I was just thinking, the other thing I was going to say was don't give up the traditional three-point play, and they came oh so close of having that happen. As you can see, the ball rolls off the rim. Now with 5 seconds left, try to knock both of these down.
Defoe gets the foul, rolling to the line. Knocks down the first one. What happens now? An intentional miss? What do you think?
I know. That's what I was just thinking. Do you try to miss it or do you make it and try to foul? It does not leave you a lot of time to get the ball down the floor.
I know teams practice it, but the execution of missing and rebounding offensively, very difficult.
And they don't have really the height on the line to try to get that rebound, so they've got to make a quick foul.
And they do as Young reaches in.
And they're going to give themselves a chance now with 4.5 seconds left. They've got one timeout left. Both teams have one timeout left.
And a case of a senior stepping up. Adriana Catcher, 60% free throw shooter on the year, but this afternoon, now 6 out of 7 at the line. Big one there.
That's the big one. That's the one that you worry about as a free throw shooter. She took a deep breath after that one, kind of shook her head, and now she's going to probably be a little more relaxed when she toes the line.
She will try to require Waverly-Shell Rock to need a 3. And she gets the job done. So it's a 3 to tie for Waverly-Shell Rock. They use a timeout with 4.5 seconds remaining. Their last timeout.
Well, and if you're Center Point-Urbana, do you foul? Put them on the line for the 2 shots. I know there's always that conversation amongst coaches and fans in that type of situation, but I almost think that you have the full length of the floor to go. Go ahead, let a little time run off the clock, maybe foul them, not let them get that last second desperation shot off. That could go in.
Interesting rule differential here between high school basketball and women's basketball in college.
Yeah, in women's college, in the last 2 minutes of the ball game, you call that timeout. You can advance it to the front court and have the opportunity with, in this situation, you'd have 4.5 seconds to run your offense. Now, in high school, you have 4.5 seconds to get it up all the way into the front court. So that's a differing situation between the 2 games at the high school and the college level.
A big difference, and again, it would take a 3 for Waverly-Shell Rock to force another overtime. Brittany Young has hit 57 threes on the season, but the ball is tipped away and stolen by Goebel, who's fouled immediately by Draper. Draper fouls out, and that may now make it academic if Goebel can knock down a free throw.
Well, there's the length that comes into play with Goebel, and it was just a little slow to develop as they were going to inbound it, try to get the ball to the middle, maybe get a running start with 1 dribble and a launch for the 3-point shot. But Draper going to the sidelines as she fouls out, but quite a ball game by Abby Draper.
Riley Goebel hits a big free throw. That should be the dagger and give Center Point-Urbana a come-from-behind victory. Goebel misses the next one. Waverly-Shell Rock can't do much about that, and Center Point-Urbana storms back from 11 down. They scored the last 6 points in the third quarter to make it a 5-point game, and then they come alive in the fourth quarter and in overtime to post a 45-41 win.
They just were able to keep them at arm's length, and then Center Point-Urbana able to storm back and force overtime and able to win it in the overtime. And we need to talk about Casey's player of the game.
Yeah, there were really a lot of players to choose from, but I have one in mind. How about you?
Well, I have one in mind, but I was going to say Bryn Hadsel with a couple of 3-pointers in that ball game for Center Point-Urbana.
And she was the one who got Center Point-Urbana the first lead with that 3 to open the overtime period, so I could not disagree with you.
4 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3-point range, and 5 of 5 from the 3-point line.
And so the final score, 45-41, Center Point-Urbana advances. Let's send it over to the public address announcer, Tim Fitzpatrick, for the awards presentation.
And now, Adriana Ketcher will advance her team to the next round in the official bracket at center court. CPU fans, your team advances to the 4A semifinals and will play North Scott on Thursday at 5 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the IGHSAU, we thank you for your support and attendance. Our next game will begin shortly.
A thrilling overtime decision by Center Point-Urbana.
Well, and there's a look at the statistics, and you can see that it was very evenly matched. Center Point-Urbana only shooting 29%, but able to come up with the victory. And three-point shooting, neither team really shot it very well, but free throws down the stretch, Center Point-Urbana able to put it away at the line.
You know, the other thing for Center Point-Urbana, they had 11 turnovers at halftime, and they turned it over only 7 times in the second half in the overtime period. That may be one of the things that got them into the semifinals.
Taking care of the basketball, and that's what you need to do when you get to this time of year, is not allow the opponent to have extra possessions. Take care of the ball and value each time you have it.
Bryn Hansel, a senior, with 14 points. Adriana Ketcher, a senior, with 13 points to propel Center Point-Urbana. Again, you always look for senior leadership when you get to the well, and Philip Kletz's team got it today.
Yeah, they really did, and that is something that they're going to rely on heavily as they advance into this tournament. So they were able to sneak out a victory here today. Just a short turnaround time, and they're going to have a tough test against North Scott.
And for Waverly-Shell Rock, a disappointing loss. Again, an 11-point lead midway in the third quarter, a 5-point lead as we went to the fourth. But then their defense, which had been so strong, at that point perhaps Center Point-Urbana figured some things out, and that enabled them to come back and win it.
You know, and I think the experience that they've had here at the state tournament and being defending 3A champ, I think that helped them as they advanced and got it in and forced that overtime period.
So Center Point-Urbana takes a 22-2 record into the 4A semifinals against top seed and defending 4A champ North Scott. And that should be a great matchup, as you mentioned, Thursday evening.
That's going to be a fun one to watch. And tell you what, there's going to be some defense played in that ball game. I think we're going to see end-to-end line defense, and that's going to be a fun one. I think very similar to this game.
And for Waverly-Shell Rock, an outstanding year, ends with a 20-3 record. They won 20 straight coming into this one, had not lost since the first 2 games of the year. They put up a battle, and especially you've got to credit Abby Draper with 14 points, kind of leading the way. But down the stretch, it was that Center Point-Urbana defense that really defended her well.
Yeah, and we didn't call her name a lot late in the fourth quarter, so they made some adjustments, not allowing her to get the basketball.
Right, she had only 1 basket in overtime, none in the fourth quarter. So Center Point-Urbana did what they had to do and came back from behind, and they move on.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do at this time of year. You hear it all the time, survive in advance, and that's exactly what Center Point-Urbana did. Was they survived this ball game, and it was a well-played ball game between 2 teams, and they advance into the next round.
And so that's the story of this one in the 4A quarterfinals from Wells Fargo Arena. Coming up, it'll be Glenwood and Gilbert, the 2-seed Glenwood, the 7-seed Gilbert, as we go to the lower bracket in the 4A quarterfinals. On behalf of our color analyst, Laura Leonard, all these years, Laura Leonard, and our producer, Anna Bassett, thanks for all of us for joining in our crew. We appreciate that. I'm Larry Morgan. Thank you for watching live coverage of the 2020 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.